Mm.
Welcome back, folks, for another week of mental health and therapy and counseling and all that good jazz. This is Word of Mouth. Still sorry for the delay on the videos. Wi-Fi's been acting real slow. Even I got Verizon, and my Verizon hasn't been acting as quickly as it used to. I guess it's 5G experience where everyone's home. I don't know. It's probably due to some COVID. Blame everything on the COVID right now. But this week we're going to discuss perspective and opinion. Now, when you're talking about somebody's perspective or an opinion, it's always just that. There may be factual information within it, but it doesn't make it fact. Because an opinion is usually based on the fact of one person's perspective. For example, if you and a friend are looking at clouds and I see a dog but you see a rabbit, it doesn't make either one of us wrong or saying either one of us aren't factual in what we're saying. We just see different things. The best thing about perspective and opinion is that everybody's allowed to have one, even whether you disagree or not. The problem comes in is when people try to make their opinion factual, 100% factual, or when people just discredit or disregard people's opinion as if they can't, feel differently or see things differently, even if it offends you in some type of way. Everybody just has their own opinion. When you think of someone's opinion, think of it again like looking in the clouds. You may see a dog, your friend may see a rabbit. When you're looking at clouds, you'll take the time to see the dog that your friend sees or see the rabbit that your friend sees. You'll stand in their shoes, you'll let them outline it to you, do the guidelines, etc. and so forth. If people had that same mentality when it came to opinions and opinions and perspectives, this world would be a better place. It's called being open-minded. But I'm going to read you something about an opinion of a Facebook friend. He says, Drew Brees said nothing wrong. The only thing this movie is doing is using identity politics to ignite false racial tensions to scare white people from not acting like their authentic self and to science-educated black men in order to introduce socialism. I'm not outside worrying about getting lynched by a bunch of white people, and if I do, it's because they are jerks. The most racist thing is our education system due to the lack of school choice and having a centralized government education curriculum which stops a young black person from having time to have knowledge of self, and I haven't seen a protest for this yet. So if white people are oppressing you, wouldn't you want to educate yourself on the thing so you wouldn't have to go to a white person? The black community has enough wealth and the internet is now available, so stop playing. People love living in delusion and call other people's coons for living in reality. It's hilarious. Now, this is something that's based in opinion and facts. While it's true, I'm not going to give a whole history lesson, let me start that. But while it's true, we have a very high wealth. It's somewhere in the billions. We spend a lot of money in other communities. So in theory, we really don't need other cultures, races, ethnicities to sustain ourselves. We really just need the education to do things. But the falsality in his statement is the most racist thing in our community or country is our education system. While it's true, it is a very racist demographic that they have. That is not the most racist thing or the only racist thing we have to worry about. He also said that he's never had to worry about being lynched by white people or etc. and so forth. That's also a perspective. Now, I know this gentleman, and if you ever saw him in person, there's nothing imposing about him. There's nothing intimidating about him. He wouldn't strike fear into you, no matter who you are. For most people, he's not a bad guy at all, but he doesn't have that presence about him. Whereas if you saw me in person, I'm 6'4", 6'5", 215 pounds, and I just don't look like the friendliest person. Most of the times you see me, I'll have on sunglasses because my eyes are very sensitive to light. His perspective is based on the fact of who he is and what people perceive from him. People may not even take him seriously, versus if they saw me at 6'4", 6'5", I'm taller than most of the world's population, not just America, the world. The average person is what? Man is 5'8", 5'9". The average woman is 5'5". That's for an average height. Granted, it seems like kids are much taller these days, but that's a different conversation. But perspective is just that's what it is. It's just perspective. You can't fault somebody from what their perspective or what they sees. His issue is what he's saying is he's presenting it as a factual thing. While it's true the education system is bad, there are other things that in line racism that are racist or in line with racism, such as the credit system, job applications, where you can even go to school at. Because to be honest, if parents could send their kids to schools to other places, they would do that, and wouldn't send them to the school with that's locally populated. Hospitals have are very racist. Credit scores can be very racist. Insurance companies can be very racist. Now, racism may start with the educational system, but that's not the most racist thing we have going on. It's by far not the most racist thing we have going on. Location is probably the most racist thing you have going on. Opportunity is the most racist thing you have going on. Because me, right now, I have a master's. I have a bachelor's. I have an associate's. I have plenty of military experience and other backgrounds to say I'm qualified to do most jobs. But I don't get or even get called back for most jobs based on the fact of probably my name versus my educational background. Or they try to use the implication that I'm overqualified, where it might be true, or I might get bored with a job. I remember somebody asking me that in an interview, would I get bored at the job? Who gets bored of making money? Who gets, when you got to provide for a family, yourself, and eat, it's just like you're going to do what you have to do. At least most people are going to do what they have to do to get going. You know what I'm saying? It was a nice company. It was something I can grow into. So I didn't even understand the concept of that. I think I've applied in all the jobs I've applied for. I've applied for multiple jobs where I've applied for these jobs and the position is no longer available. And this has happened not once or twice. I can say in the double digits where I've applied to a job and it's no longer available. And I never see the job again. I go back and look, the job is no longer available. Not that they hired somebody, just that the job is no longer available. So understand this, and I say this in closing. Your perspective, your opinion may have factual statements in it, but it does not make it fact. Your emotions are only factual to you, but not maybe to the reality of the situation. With all that being said, subscribe to our channel. This is Word of Mouth signing out. Peace.
Mm.